What's up, it's Richie here with Statifying Football. This is for the 2019 NFL playoffs, the divisional round. 4 games this weekend, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Jump right into it. San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. San Francisco had a bye week because they were the #1 seed. So their overall season preview or review was they averaged just under 30 points a game, 29.9, which was second in the NFL. 4th in total offense, 8th in total defense, allowing 19 points a game. Tied for 5th in the NFL with 48 sacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, 3,978 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 picks, which is key. Tight end George Kittle, 85 receptions, 1,053 yards, 5 touchdowns. Linebacker Fred Warner, 118 tackles. Defensive end Nick Bosa, 9 sacks. Eric Armstead, 10 sacks. Richard Sherman, 11 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 14 total passes defensed. Fred Warner, 9 pass breakups, 1 interception, 10 passes defensed. Ahkello Witherspoon, 9 pass breakups, 1 pick, and 10 passes defense total. So they had one of the best years they've had in a long, long time. To me, they're a Super Bowl contending team. And they're facing off Minnesota. Minnesota had to a lot of people, a surprising overtime victory, an awesome game against New Orleans, where they won 26-20. Kirk Cousins passed for 242 and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 7 catches, 129 yards and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, they got going, ran for 96 yards. Defense had 3 sacks, 2 turnovers in that game. This, I think, will be a really, really good game. Both teams are 2 of only 5 NFL teams that are both top 10 offense and top 10 defense in the NFL. Minnesota will keep it close. I believe they can, if they can get, especially if they can get Dalvin Cook going. However, they have a really strong defense over in San Francisco, so they can kind of minimize that. But it's key here because Garoppolo's thrown 13 picks, which isn't a ton, but it's kind of on the high side. And Minnesota can get a lot of interceptions. It's what they've known they're good at all season, so that could be key to the game if Garoppolo can't take care of the ball. However, I do think that San Francisco will end up winning. I think this will be a little bit closer, at least going into the 4th quarter. I can see San Francisco winning something like 30-20, 30-21, something like that. Maybe they're up like 27-20, and then they get a field goal kind of like halfway through the 4th to kind of seal it off a little bit. But this will be a really interesting game, and I got San Francisco. I have San Francisco winning and moving on to the NFC Championship game. All right, then the other game on Saturday is the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, best team in the league all year long, basically. 14-2, #1 in the offense in the NFL, averaging just over 33 points a game. #3 defense, allowing just about 17 points a game, 17.6 actually. Lamar Jackson revolutionizing the game. 3,127 passing yards, 36 passing touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, plus set an NFL record 1,206 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. Mark Ingram ran for 1,018 yards and 10 touchdowns. Defensively, linebacker Matthew Judon, 9.5 sacks. Marlon Humphrey, 14 pass breakups, 3 interceptions with 17 passes defensed. Peters, 10 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 13 passes defense, and Chuck Clark, 9 pass breakups, 1 pick, and 10 passes defense. Like I said, to me, Super Bowl team. I think it'll be a rematch of the season, regular season game between San Francisco and Baltimore. I got Baltimore. They're facing the Titans. Had a nice, pretty big upset over New Orleans, beating them 20-13. It was really about their running game and defense in this. Ryan Tannehill didn't do a damn thing. 72 passing yards, a touchdown and pick. It was all Derrick Henry ran for 182 yards and a touchdown. They did have a pick 6 late to kind of steal that game. This, to me, though, the key is I don't think Tennessee can keep it close. I think Baltimore might win by 30. They might beat them like 42-10. Something like that, because even if, because normally you could say, yeah, oh, if Tennessee can run it and keep the ball away from Lamar Jackson, sure, even if you do that, Baltimore's going to score every time they have the ball. So even if they only have it like 3 times in the first half, or 3 or 4 times in the first half, they're going to score 21, 24 points in the first half. And then you can't do much with Henry running the ball there. So I don't think this is going to be close, to be honest. I got Baltimore destroying Tennessee here and moving on to the AFC Championship game. All right, then jumping into Sunday, Houston Texans and the Chiefs. Chiefs coming in by week 12-4, 5th in the NFL, averaging just over 28 points a game, 7th in the NFL, allowing only just over 19 points a game, 11th in the NFL with 45 sacks, 5th in the NFL with 16 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, even though he missed a bunch of games, he still passed for 4,031 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Travis Kelce, 97 receptions, 1,229 yards, 5 touchdowns. Defensive end, Frank Clark, 8 sacks. Defensive tackle, Chris Jones, 9 sacks. Tyrann Mathieu, 12 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, 16 passes defense. Javarius Ward, 10 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 12 passes defense. Bashaud Breeland, 8 pass breakups, 2 picks, 10 passes defense. One of the top teams in the league, offensively and defensively. Houston coming off an awesome overtime win against Buffalo. They were down 16-0. Came back late and won in overtime 22-19 on one of the freaking best plays I've seen. Deshaun Watson just like standing up to a perfectly timed blitz from 2 people. It was crazy. He got out of it. They beat the Bills 22-19. Deshaun Watson, 247 passing, a touchdown, 55 rushing, and a touchdown. Defensively, they had 3 sacks. This is different. They allowed 7 in this game. And another difference here is the Bills had their chances to put this game away. They kept settling for field goals. The Chiefs, if the Texans give that up to the Chiefs won't be scoring field goals. They'll be scoring touchdowns. I believe. So here's the thing. The line is Kansas City by 10. It could be that. This is really tricky for me. This is why I actually picked the Bills to beat Houston last week. Houston is really inconsistent, and the game against Buffalo showed it. First, 3 quarters, basically, Houston was out of it. Deshaun Watson turned it on that 4th quarter, and they came back to win. They can't give Kansas City 3 quarters like that. If they do, Kansas City's going to blow them out of the water. This game has the potential to be freaking amazing. This could be a shootout, 38-35 kind of game, one of the best playoff games we've ever seen, or it could potentially be a dud with, in my opinion, a Chief blowout. I'm not sure. I don't believe it'll be necessarily a blowout. I do think the Chiefs win relatively comfortably, 38-24, 35-21, maybe even 31-17, something like that. Maybe it'll be close for half or whatever, but I think the Chiefs will end up with that victory there and get after Deshaun Watson a lot. All right, then the final game on Sunday night for the divisional round weekend of the NFL playoffs. To me, this was the hardest one to pick. The Seattle Seahawks going to Green Bay. It looks like the weather in Green Bay is going to be 25 degrees. I'm not sure if it's going to snow or not. That could be a huge difference in the game for the running game, especially for Green Bay. Green Bay is coming in. They're probably the worst offense in the NFL, at least that's still in the playoffs. Averaging just 23.5 points a game, which is 15th in the NFL. Defensively, they're pretty stout, only giving up 19.6 points per game, which is 9th in the NFL. Our 3rd in the NFL with 17 interceptions, so that's a key also. Aaron Rodgers passed for 4,002 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 4 picks. He never throws picks, which is another key in this game. Aaron Jones, that's the biggest chess piece to me. He ran for 1,084 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns. Linebacker Blake Martinez, 155 tackles. Linebacker Preston Smith, 12 sacks. Zadarius Smith, 13.5 sacks. Jerry Alexander, 17 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 19 passes defensed. Kevin King, 15 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, 20 passes defense. Tramon Williams, 8 pass breakups, 2 picks, 10 passes defense. And AJ Namath, 8 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 10 passes defense. So they're one of the best secondaries in the NFL. There were Seattle's coming off a 17-9 win over Philadelphia. Russell Wilson, 325 and a touchdown. DK Metcalf was awesome, 7 catches, 160 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, they had 7 sacks in that game. However, they did have 11 penalties against Green Bay. They can't do that. Green Bay will make him pay. But I still feel like this is even Green Bay's sort of. They're 13-3, but in a weird way, they've kind of underperformed, but they're still there. It's a new season. They still got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones has been awesome this year running the ball. Defensively, they're very stout. But Seattle, they have Russell Wilson. The running game wasn't very good that first week. Maybe they get Lynch or whoever going running the ball. But I think the difference here, one of the big keys in here, especially if it's snowing, Green Bay, if they can get Aaron Jones going, lean on that run game, at least for this round to get into the NFC Championship game. They have Aaron Rodgers here. Russell wasn't a great playmaker. Neither quarterback really makes mistakes, but I do feel like this is going to, I mean, most games come down to turnovers, of course, but this I feel like is so evenly matched. It's more, that's the higher goal. That's the higher key here. For some reason in my mind, I feel like Russell might make that one mistake. Like, between both quarterbacks, they might make only one mistake. One interception between the both of them, one fumble between the both of them. And I feel like it might be Russell Wilson in this case, especially considering Green Bay's secondary. Like I said, they're third in the NFL with 17 picks, one of the top secondaries in forcing turnovers and pass breakups and all that, pass defense. I think that might just be the difference here. Green Bay maybe wins like 20-17, something really close like that. And it might be their defense that saves the day. So I'm going to give Green Bay that slight edge. But this really could go back and forth here. But I got Green Bay moving on to the NFC Championship game. So, recap. I got San Francisco facing Green Bay in the NFC title game. And then I got Baltimore and Kansas City in the AFC title game. Those are my picks for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Check out my next week for my conference championship games, and I got one more for college. The national championship game is coming up in a few days, so check out those. Like, subscribe, leave comments. Peace.
Lost all hope and wake up, try to find my focus. Meet someone new, but the walls ain't broken. It's a never-ending circle I'm in. Time slow when you're on your own and miss seeing that name on your phone. And phone rings, not you, heart slow, man. Why you gotta switch up the plan when you're all alone?